The bitter winds of London cut through the narrow streets, the chill of war settling into the very bones of the city. It is 1944, and the war has not only ravaged the land but has also torn at the fabric of the people living within it. London, once proud and resilient, now wears the weight of constant fear, the crumbled remnants of buildings offering a grim reminder of the Blitz. The city's heart beats to the rhythm of air raid sirens and whispers of betrayal. In these shadows, Evie Carter had always prided herself on her work tending to the wounded, easing the pain of soldiers returning from the front lines, and offering a sense of comfort to those who had lost everything. But now, everything she knew was about to unravel in the cruelest of ways. Accused of collaborating with the enemy, Evie's world has collapsed. It is a crime she never committed, but the accusations alone are enough to seal her fate. London, scarred by years of war, demands justice, and those who are suspected of working with the Nazis are often made to pay a price that is more than physical. It is societal death. The news spreads quickly. Evie, a nurse, suspected of treason. As her neighbors turn their backs, as the city begins to whisper, her life becomes something she can no longer recognize. Dragged into the city square, the shame of her punishment has already begun to seep into her heart before the first cut is even made. There, in front of a cold, unforgiving crowd, she is made to stand, her head bowed, her hands trembling at her sides. The officer before her is calm, his face devoid of emotion. He holds a straight razor in his hand, a gleaming symbol of the judgment she is about to face. Her hair, once a part of her identity, a crown she had worn with pride, will soon be gone. Each stroke of the blade will strip away more than just the strands of brown and gold. It will erase her from the history she knew, reducing her to nothing more than a victim of the war, of suspicion, of a world that no longer seems to care about the truth. The crowd is silent, watching, some with pity, some with disdain. Evie feels the air grow heavier as the officer steps closer. He is efficient, almost mechanical. The first cut is clean, deep, and sharp. Her scalp tightens in shock, a cold shiver racing down her spine. She can feel each tug of the razor as it moves against the grain of her hair, slicing through it, cutting through her sense of self. She wants to scream, to lash out, but the terror holds her in place. The officer moves with precision, his gloved hands working through her hair, removing it in thick chunks. The strands fall to the cobblestones with an almost eerie finality. The sound of hair hitting the ground is like the ticking of a clock, counting down to the moment when she will no longer recognize herself. With each stroke, the crowd grows more still, as though they, too, are waiting for the inevitable to pass. The wind cuts through her exposed skin, but it is nothing compared to the icy sensation settling into her chest. She is being stripped of more than her hair, she is being stripped of her dignity, of her place in the world. The blade moves again, and again, closer to the delicate skin of her scalp. She can feel her heart pounding, the adrenaline rushing through her veins, but still, she stands. She will not let them break her. Not yet. As the last of her hair falls to the ground, the officer steps back. Evie's head is bare, vulnerable to the world. The cold wind bites at her skin, and her heartbeat thunders in her ears. She stands there, exposed and silent, no longer the woman she was before. Her identity has been taken from her in an instant. The crowd disperses, leaving behind only the remnants of her hair and the weight of their judgment. She is a traitor. She is a symbol of betrayal. But as she stands alone in the square, there is something else in her, the smallest flicker of defiance. This moment will not define her forever. She may have been marked, but she is not finished. In the days that follow, as Evie is forced to move through the city, head shaved and pride shattered, she feels the weight of the world pressing down on her. The looks of strangers, the whispers in the streets, it's as if she no longer belongs. But it is not just the loss of her hair that haunts her. It is the loss of her purpose, her sense of belonging, her place in a society that now sees her as a traitor. Every glance she catches in the mirror reminds her of what she has lost, and every step she takes feels like a struggle to regain even a shred of herself. It is in this fractured state that she finds Maggie O'Connor. Maggie, too, has suffered the punishment of the razor. A woman once celebrated for her beauty, Maggie is now a shell of her former self. Her head, shaved just weeks before, is smooth and glistening, but there is a quiet strength in her eyes that Evie recognizes instantly. Maggie is a survivor. She has been through this, and now she will help Evie survive it, too. Maggie does not offer false comfort. She knows what Evie is feeling, what she is enduring. "You'll get through this," Maggie says quietly, standing by her side. "We all do. We have to." There is no pity in her voice, only solidarity. Maggie has seen many women broken by the blade, their spirits crushed beneath the weight of the world's cruelty. But she is not broken. Not anymore. And neither will Evie be. Together, they begin to rebuild. The streets of London are still filled with suspicion, with pain, but the two women walk side by side, their heads bare but their resolve stronger than ever. There are moments when the shame resurfaces, the memories of the razor, the feeling of helplessness, but each day they take one more step, one more moment of defiance. They are not just victims. They are survivors. And they will fight for their place in this world. As time passes, the razor becomes a distant memory, its sting softened by the quiet strength that comes from surviving something that should have destroyed them. They begin to find new purpose, working in hospitals, helping with the war efforts, rebuilding their broken city. The physical marks of the past may remain, the smoothness of their scalps, the sharp, painful memories, but they are not the women they once were. They have been remade, reforged by the fire of their experiences. And they will carry the scars with pride, knowing they are a testament to their survival. But the shadow of the war, of Hitler's regime, looms large. Even though the war has ended, the scars it left on the world are still fresh. The women who were accused, who were punished, know that they will never be fully accepted again. Their pasts are too tainted by the suspicions, the betrayals, the accusations. But even so, they are not defeated. In the silence of the night, in the quiet moments when they are alone, they remember what it took to survive. And they know that, despite everything, they are still here. They are still standing. And that, in itself, is a victory.